guys, it's the 2nd of January. I go back to work in a few days and we need to de-Christmas. Like, there is stuff everywhere and I can't cope. Plan of action today is I'm going to start by taking the tree down in here, tidying up my library space a little bit, and then we're going to do the same in the living room. I'm probably not going to film it all because A, I don't think my storage will cope, and B, this will end up being about 5 hours long. I also need to sort out my decorations a little bit because there are no empty boxes somehow for all of this to go in, so I must have like pulled stuff from various boxes that I had from over the years. So I'm going to sort out the boxes a little bit just so that it's easier for me next year. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a reset. Now, I'm not going to fully organise my bookshelves today. I want to do that in a separate video in a few weeks' time, where I'm planning a little bit of a bookshelf tour as well. But yeah, I thought I'd sort of make this a New Year reset. I'm going to do my book journal, get that sorted, read a little bit, so it'll be a bit of a bits and pieces reset vlog, but I thought it'd be fun to bring you along. I also just wanted to show you a few books that I got for Christmas and in the Boxing Day sales, because we've got to find homes for these. Oh, that's the other thing, I'm also going to reset my TBR cart today. Now, I have already picked and filmed my January TBR, so you can check that video out if you haven't already seen it. We have a great TBR for this month. I've already read one book. I'm so excited. And yeah, so some of these have got to go on the TBR cart. I'm going to do a bit of a refresh. It is just behind me, but you can't really see it in shot, I don't think. It's just here. I want to put books on there that I actively want to read, like in the immediate future, because some of those I just find I'm skipping over. I have no intention of reading it anytime soon. So we're going to refresh that as well. But let's go through the books that I got for Christmas and in Boxing Day sales, or just, you know, for myself, because I can. So the first book I got for Christmas, this is in my Christmas Eve box from my boyfriend. I got The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. This has the lovely sprayed edges and paper artwork, and under the naked hardcover is Christmas trees. I have read this one. I read this in December and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so sweet, just the perfect festive romance. It's actually the first book that I've read in the Dream Harbour series. I haven't yet read book 1, Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So I always say pumpkin spice latte because that's what I think of. But I haven't yet read that, so that I do want to read. I do own it in paperback, but now I know I love the series, I'm definitely going to get to that sooner. So I got this one, and then also from my boyfriend I got the TikTok exclusive edition of Good Spirits. This was my first read in December and I adored it. This is one that I will be rereading, I think, this coming year. It feels weird to say that because we've literally just had Christmas, but it is now this year that Christmas will come again. Yeah, that's one that I definitely want to reread, so I'm so happy that I got the special edition because that's going to be a trophy book. And then along similar theme, another set of BK Borison books. I got the box set that has Love Light Farms, In the Weeds, Mixed Signals and Business Casual, the paperbacks. I discovered BK Borison this year and she has become one of my favourite romance authors, so I'm so excited to dive into more of her work. So those are the books that I got from other people for Christmas, but then I did also purchase for myself a couple of books. So I got the Works exclusive edition of Nightshade because this came back into stock. I'm so intrigued by this one, I'm so excited to read it, and those edges just, they had to be bought, so I've got this one. And then I went into, this is very rustly, I went into an independent bookshop where my parents and my family live, and they had a signed copy of Holly by Adeline Grace. So I got this one because it has the beautiful artwork in it, and of course it is signed. I haven't got round to reading this one yet. I think this will be one for this coming next December, because I still need to read the Belladonna series. So tell me why I bought this. I don't know, I just got excited. But yeah, so this one will be a Christmas read for this next December. I then bought 2 books in the Waterstones Boxing Day sale. One of which is one of my most anticipated reads. I was going to wait until it was in paperback, but when it was half price I was like, well, why not just get it in hardback? So I got Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is on my 26 books for 2026. I'm so excited to read this one. And then I also bought the hardback copy of The Islet in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. Now, I did actually read this in 2025. I received a proof copy, and then Illumicrate did it as one of their special edition books of the month. So I do have the Illumicrate edition, but I much prefer this cover. So I think I'm probably going to be selling my Illumicrate edition of it. But I really just wanted the original hardback cover because I think it is beautiful. So I got this one in the Boxing Day sale as well. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to put these away and then we're going to get rid of these Christmas decorations. There we go. Nice, tidy-ish room. Behind the camera is not tidy. There is still stuff to sort out, just like stuff. But the tree is away. My TBR cart is back in its little nook out of the way. I haven't sorted out my shelves. I have started to put away some of the books, so I had to do a little bit of minor reorganising, but like my BK Borison set is up here. I've got Nightshade to put away and then my 2 Christmas hardbacks. But before I do anything else, I thought that we could do a little bit of a December wrap up in this video. I'm going to talk through all of the books that I read in December and what I thought of them, because it was a mixed month, to say the least. So the first book that I read, we all know, is Good Spirits. I loved this. I gave it 4.5 stars. It wasn't quite a 5-star read for me. Then there was something that didn't quite gel with me as much as First Time Caller, but I still loved it. I just thought it was the perfect, cozy, wholesome little Christmas romance. And I really loved the dynamic between Nolan and Harriet as a main female character just had loads going for her. She was really interesting to read about, and I loved their kind of character development throughout this story. So that was the first book that I read. So we got off to a good start in December. I then picked up my book club book. I know people love this book and this author. This is the only book that I've read by Joanne Harris. We share a first name, but I was not gelling with her, babe. Oh, this was a real slog. I could not get through this. I did, because it was a book club book. I felt like I had to get through it, but it took the majority of the month. I didn't finish reading it by the time our book club meeting came around. I got just over 200 pages in by that point, but I did finish it before the end of 2025, just because I wanted to tick it off as another read book and not leave it hanging over me in 2026. But I gave this 2.5 stars. I could see what it was doing. It just wasn't for me. I found it really boring. I found the endless descriptions of chocolate tedious and not a lot happened. It's just, yeah, not my cup of tea, I'm afraid. So won't be reading any more of those. The next book that I dove into was Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Now, because of the difficulties that I was having with Chocolat, I didn't like fully immerse myself into this straight away. Actually, the first half of this book took me a pretty long time to read, and I was reading it for the majority of December. But by the time I got past the halfway mark and just kind of really engrossed myself in it and really dedicated the time to this, I ate this up. I loved this. I loved the relationship between Ceres and Kingfisher. Just the whole world felt so expansive. Like, I feel like there is so much more to be explored, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of this series. Now, I know Brimstone has had so many mixed / very average reviews. I'm not expecting it to be as good as this was. I did give this a 5 stars in the end, because I feel like if I'd have just thrown myself into it straight away, I would have probably inhaled this in a couple of days. The fact that I read 300 pages in a day is testament to how much I loved this. So yeah, this was a 5-star read for me. I'm not expecting Brimstone to be a 5-star read, but I am really looking forward to reading more in this world. So Quicksilver was the last book that I finished. I've kind of gone on to that one first because I did start it earlier, but I did over Christmas also read The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. I spoke very briefly about this in my little haul section at the beginning of this video, but I really enjoyed this. I thought it was the perfect festive, cozy romance, and I'm really looking forward to reading more in the Dream Harbour series. Like, this was just a good fun time. I gave this 4 stars. I couldn't really say anything wrong about it. Was the plotting? Not really. But it was just nice to be with these characters for a little bit and feeling a little bit festive. I just realised as well that I forgot to talk about The Girl in the Tower, because I was reading this in November. I was like, oh, I didn't read that in December. But I did finish this on like the 1st or the 2nd of December. So it hasn't yet been included in a wrap up. It was one of the books that I finished in December. And yeah, this was really good. So this is the 2nd book in the Winter Night trilogy. So The Bear and the Nightingale is book 1. And I really loved this. These are so quick and easy to read, and the world building is just so like whimsical, and they read almost like fairy tales but with a bit more depth, a bit more dark and twisties. So I did finish this in December because I was like, I can't have only read 4 books only. But no, this was the 5th. Technically it was the 1st, but 5. These were the 5 books that I finished in December. Oh no, I did read another book. I've just tried to block this out of my mind. The other book that I read was on my TBR, A Palace Near the Wind. Yeah, this was a low for me. It was only 180 pages, but it was just weird. Like, I get what it was trying to do. So essentially we're following a tree girl. I'm trying not to say this like without giving spoilers. She is basically married off to the king of another realm, another area, who have completely opposite beliefs to this family. And it's kind of a commentary on industrialism and the advancement of technology taking over from nature and living naturally. But the way that it was done, it wasn't done badly, it just wasn't for me. Like, I just found it really weird, and so I found it hard to connect to. So I gave this 2 stars. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Very quick to read, thankfully, but this wasn't a highlight of my month. Yeah, so there we go. I finished 6 books. Technically, this one was mostly read in November. So 5 books altogether read in December. Now, if we cast our minds back to my TBR, I did actually have 6 books on there, 2 of which are not here. And that's because I didn't get around to reading them. So unfortunately, I can't hold these, hang on. Books I didn't get round to in December that were on my TBR were Nevernight and Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. So these will, once again, be going back to the TBR cart. Maybe we'll get them picked soon, who knows? But yeah, I wanted to read more Christmassy romance books, to be honest. You may have seen that I published a short of me starting Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. I didn't end up starting that book, in all honesty. I filmed that just before going away. My intention was to take that away with me when I went to visit my parents for Christmas, and I left it at home. And then by the time I got back, I wanted to finish the reads that I had in progress and make progress on my actual TBR. So that one has not yet been read. So sorry to those people who are asking me what I thought of this, because like the bookmark was in there ready to go and everything, but it's literally at the beginning. Just didn't get started. Maybe, depending on how things go with my rather large TBR this month, maybe I'll try and squeeze this into January, because I do think that it's still okay to read this in January. From what I've heard, it's more wintry rather than Christmas specific, so I think it'll still be okay to read. So I am going to leave this out. I'm not going to pack it away just yet, just in case we get round to it. I feel like I've waffled a lot, but that was my December. Very up and down, very mixed. But I am looking forward to my January reads. I have, spoiler alert, already finished one book. Go me, first day of January, ticking off a book all ready to go. This was really enjoyable. I'll save it for my January wrap up, but yeah, good start to the year. But now I want to sort out my TBR cart. I think I'm going to take everything off, talk through maybe what's there, and then replenish it, put some fresh choices on there, things that I'm actually excited to read imminently. So let's get that done. Here we are. Now, like I say, there are some things on here that I just don't feel immediately drawn to, and I want to get some books on here that I am prioritising this year. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take everything off, stack stuff in front of me. I'm going to make a pile of my 26 books to read in 2026, or at least the ones that I own that are released. A pile of my 12 recommendations by 12 friends. Those I actually did via prompts this year, so 12 friends gave me 12 prompts to pick from my physical TBR. So I'm going to have those stacked up, and then just anything else that I think I might want to read over the course of the next couple of months, including any ARCs, any proof copies that I've got. So yeah, let's clear this off, and then I'm going to see what we're working with. Okay, there we go. So everything is cleared off. I think the first thing that I'm going to put back on are my proof copies, because I definitely need to get these read and reviewed, because that's why I'm sent them. So they're going to go on the bottom shelf here. So I've got these 3. And then the next thing I'm going to put on are the books that I had already on here that are on my 26 reads for 2026. Now, not all of them were on here, so I might need to pull some from my shelves, but I'm going to have a little look at the list, because some of them I think I was thinking more to read in summer or autumn, but I'm going to put these ones on now, and they're going to go on the top shelf so that I see them and hopefully reach for them first. So I've got The Hymn to Dionysus, A Language of Dragons, which my 2 friends have read and really loved. I've also got The Crimson Moth. I'm very excited to read that duology. The Air of Illusion, I've heard great things about this one. And then in terms of paperbacks, I've got Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole, The Will of the Many by James Islington. I'm equal parts excited and terrified. And then Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. I've heard great things about this book. I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This is a biography. In the Veins of the Drowning by Kaylee Cassidy. The Favourites by Lane Fargo. These can go down here actually. So then other books that are going back on here that were there to start with. Ow, I've just like realised my sock's been fully digging into my ankle. That really hurts. So books that were on here that are definitely going back on here. So I've got Fallen City by Adrienne Young. This is on my 12 for 12. Until We Shatter by Kate Dillon. This is a book that I put on here because I keep putting this off. Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. And Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So those I feel are the most important ones at this moment in time. I do have some paperbacks put aside here that I know I definitely want to leave on my TBR cart. So I've got Persuasion by Jane Austen. This is going to be my classic that I definitely read this year. Mate by Ali Hazelwood, because I loved Bride, such a fun time. The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon, because I really need to catch up with my reread of this so I can get into The Dark Mirror ASAP. The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. This I'm just curious about. And I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman, because I think it's always important to have something A, out of your comfort zone, but B, nice and short for when the time arises for a short book. Okay, let's go through some books that I know are not going to be going back on here at the moment. So the first one that I've taken off is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and that's just because I want to read this in spooky season. So I'm not going to be gravitating towards this one at the moment. So that's not going to go back on. For exactly the same reason, All the Wicked, which is the sequel to All the Devils, which I read in 2024. But this is a spooky season read for me, so we're going to wait on that one. Also, for the moment, taken off Girls of Paper and Fire. This will be a reread so that I can continue with the rest of the series. I loved this book. This was a 5-star read for me at the time. I just don't remember it. But with series that I've got in progress at the moment, I want to wait before diving back into this one. There are some other series that I want to prioritise. I definitely will get to this, just not yet. And then I've also taken off Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and everyone will be screaming at me for this, but this has had the potential to be picked for the last 3 TBRs, and I've just not wanted to read it yet. I'm going to wait on this one just a little bit longer, I think, because I'm just not reaching for it at the moment. Another book that I'm going to put on for now is Warrior Princess Assassin. This is on my winter TBR, so I do want to try and get round to this soon. And then similarly with A Treachery of Swans. Tales of a Deadly Devotion. This is the second book to Tales of a Monstrous Heart by Jennifer Delaney. I really enjoyed the first book, so I am looking forward to continuing with that. So that's going to go just on the back there, I think. A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride. Rather annoyingly, I think I preferred the paperbacks on the top. I'm gonna put the paperbacks back on the top because it's going to annoy me. I don't like it this way around. Okay, there we go. That's much better. I just didn't like the proportions of paperbacks being here. What I do enjoy is that I can double stack paperbacks. So I do in fact have the equivalent of 2 rows of paperbacks and then 2 rows of hardbacks, because I have quite a lot of hardbacks actually. I probably have more hardbacks than paperbacks. Do you like a hardback? Okay, right, let's continue. So another book that I'm going to put back on here. Am I going to put this back on? I really need to read this series. I fear if I don't read this anytime soon, I'm never going to read it. And that is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I have no idea why I haven't read this. It sounds incredible. And I think the final book in the series just came out not too long ago. So I really do need to get to this. I'm going to put this on and try and prioritise it. I'm also going to put on here, back on here, The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. It's the 3rd book in the Winter Night trilogy, so I can get that trilogy finished. Metal Slinger, so many people loving this book, so this is going on here. This is the one with pretty sprayed edges. The question here lies, do I keep Nevernight or do I return Nevernight to the TBR cart? Like, am I gonna pick this up? The thing is, like, at the moment, knowing what my current TBR is, I don't think I'll be inclined to pick this up in February. So I might leave it off for now in terms of space, but it can always go back on. And then I am going to put back on Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. This is the second book in the Emily Wilde trilogy. That's another like perfect for winter one. Other paperbacks that I'm going to put back on here, got The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. I actually started reading this and got over halfway through when this first came out in paperback, so it's a good few years ago. I don't know why I never finished it. I think I maybe just burnt myself out, to be honest, with reading at the time. Definitely will need to restart this though, but that can go back on. Also going to put Nightshade by Autumn Woods. You saw I just bought the special edition of this. Is this also the standard paperback? Yes, it is. I'm also going to put on Road of Bones by Demi Winters. Again, I'm really excited to read this. This is a Viking fantasy, which I need to read more of, and I've heard fantastic things about this book. Also going to put back on The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, because I really need to start my Robin Hobb reading journey. The other two which I don't know are going to go back on here are Anathema, because this is spooky season through and through, and The Most of Nora Ephron. Judging by space though, I think it would be good to have another non-fiction on here, so I do think I am going to keep this on. So I've got some space still. I've got a little bit of space here for hardbacks, and then I've got some space at the back for a few more paperbacks. So I'm going to have a little browse of my shelves and see what I fancy putting on here. So I'm going to put Nevernight back on because I do want to read this. I do want to get to this. So that's going to go back on there. As is, surprisingly, Once Upon a Broken Heart, because I realise next month is February. It's going to be Valentine's Day. This one might be a nice one to read around that time. So I am going to put this back on for now. Actually, I've just seen Fallen Stars by Imani Eriu. I'm actually reading Heavenly Bodies at the moment, so it'd be good to get the sequel on there and try and get to this one as soon as possible. So there we go, an updated TBR cart for the new year. I think I'm happy with this. There are some books on here that I'm genuinely really excited to get to, and I wouldn't feel bad picking anything off here. So we're gonna go with this for now. I can still change it. I can still change out books if I receive any, or if, you know, as the seasons change and things like that. But I'm happy with this for the start of 2026. Right, so I've put my current TBR, my January TBR, on the top of here just so that I don't forget about it. And I think for the rest of the evening now, I'm going to do a little bit of my reading journal because I really need to get that set up. I've penciled it, but I haven't actually fully drawn it out yet. I haven't even thought about my January spreads, which I should probably do. I'll probably do that in another video. But I want to make a start on getting my yearly spreads done. Then I'm just going to read for a bit. My boyfriend just made me a cup of tea in this really cute little mug that I got for Christmas. How adorable. It actually has a frog sat on the inside as well, but you can't see that because it's currently got tea in. Good cup of tea. I also need to clear off the desk first, so I'm going to do that, and then we're going to do some journaling.
actually so happy with how that has turned out. I don't consider myself to be the most artistic person simply because I don't have the patience for it. So the fact that I drew this out in pencil quite a while ago has really helped, because it doesn't feel like this has been a chore, because it's not taken me that long to do, about half an hour. So that's not too bad considering how many leaves there are going on over here. I thought what I would do is use some stickers for like the little decorations on the shelves instead of drawing them on. I think there are a couple in this little pack that would be good. Actually, let me show you these stickers. These are all from Notebook Therapy, so the same as my notebook. So there's these ones, there's lots of leaves. So this is why I've decided to go for quite like a neutral, like leafy palette. These like little stamp ones, those ones, some gold ones. And those ones, actually the ones that I'm thinking of aren't in this pack. They're like just decorative. The ones that I'm thinking of actually came in this little washi set. So there's a set of seven washi tapes in here. Actually, let me show you these as well. So there's like a leafy one, that one, that one. It's hard to see them all when they're rolled up, obviously. Like individual stickery ones. This dark one I really love. And then two thinner ones. So there's this like green one and then this darker one as well. But yeah, also in here came some stickers. So I thought like the cute little gramophone would look nice, as would this like ancient bodice and the globe, and the others are just like leaves and things. But yeah, I thought they would be cute, so I just need to find somewhere for them to go. My phone actually died while I was filming doing this, but I figured I'd just keep going anyway. And here we are. Here is my year of books spread in my reading channel. I'm so happy with how this turns out. I'm always scared of starting stuff like this because I'm so worried that I'm going to mess it up, but I'm really, really happy with how it came out. With the sky by the window, I am gonna get like a white gel pen, I think, and do more stars in that, but I don't have one at the moment, so I can't do that. I could also colour in the first book that I've read this year, because I have already finished one book, but I'm not 100% set on what colours I want to do the books in, or if I want to do a key. So I'm going to leave that for now until I make that decision. I'm not going to do any more journaling tonight because I am now really tired. It is quite late. So I'm going to get ready for bed and read my book in bed with a nice cup of tea. I started reading this yesterday, and the first chapter so far has been amazing. I think I've read 2 chapters. Yeah, I've read 2 chapters, so I'm on chapter 3, and so far we've met our female protagonist and who I think is going to be the male love interest. Our FNC is badass. Like, she's been kidnapped and taken away from her home, and she's basically just trying to escape at this stage. But there's one quote that I really, really loved, which I just thought I'd quickly read to you before I carry on reading. It says, "This is for every woman you've preyed upon, every girl you've accosted and taken from without asking permission. I know I'm not the first." She leaned in. "But I will be your last. If you or your men ever try this again, you will pray for these nightmares, because they will be nothing compared to what I do to you." I just think that's so good. So basically she seems to have this ability where she can make people see their worst fears, and so she's just done this to a group of men that were trying to attack her, essentially. But yeah, I'm gonna read for a little bit and then turn in for the night.
The beginning of this year has just been mental. It's been over a week since I filmed those last clips. I've gone back to work. I've also been rehearsing for a show, and because I also then teach on a Saturday, I work Monday to Friday, and then those rehearsals are on a Sunday. I've not had a single minute to myself for the last week, and it's just crazy. Like, I need to be kind to myself, and I need to give myself some time off because I'm not going to be able to sustain this. Anyway, in the last clip you saw me start Heavenly Bodies, and I have since finished this book. This was so good. This is my first 5-star read of the year, and it was just absolutely brilliant. If you want a gorgeous romantasy, the world building is incredible. So much depth, so much scope. I love the characters. They are multi-dimensional, and I think there's so much left to unpick in this series. The ending of this left us on a cliffhanger. So I have since also abandoned my TBR slightly and started Fallen Stars. I'm about 250 pages into this now, halfway. And yeah, I'm loving it just as much. Honestly, this series is so good. If you have not read these books, you're missing out. You really are. Like, they're so good. So we have had a really good start to reading this year. A not so great start to calm, but there's still time. I've not done any more on my reading journal since the last clip because time. And yeah, there's still a lot that I want to do. I want to finish setting up my Notion properly. I actually set that up last year and I haven't updated it that much. I think because I don't currently have a working laptop, it is really difficult to do that. And yeah, so I want to do that, and I want to finish my reading journal, setting up that up. What else did I want to do? Oh, I also eventually want to set up my own Google Sheets. I think rather than Notion. I might still use Notion as a database for cataloguing my books, but I want to use Google Sheets for tracking my reading. At the moment I'm using a combination of Storygraph, Fable and Goodreads, but I want it all in one place. Storygraph's really good for stats, so I would highly recommend, if you are looking for a new platform to move away from Goodreads, I would highly recommend Storygraph because it is great and they are constantly updating it based on user feedback. This is not an ad. I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I was. But I just think they're great. So use Storygraph if you're unsure of what app to use to track your reading. But yeah, I want to set up a Google Sheets because I've seen loads of people do it and I love stats, I love charts, and I want to be able to more easily track the series that I'm finishing and how diversely I'm reading as well. I want to read more diversely, but in an intentional way. So yeah, I am sorry that I didn't get my reset finished. I will still keep doing that, but I am going to wrap up this vlog here because not only am I kind of continuing on with the Heavenly Bodies series, I've also got a couple of books on my TBR this month that will lead to me finishing series. So I'm going to do a separate vlog for reading those and my reactions to the end of those series because I think they might break me, in all honesty. And yeah, I've got loads of ideas for upcoming content across this month and next month. I'm going to get some new bookshelves. So we'll build those together, set those up, reset these ones. Bookshelf tour, because you've all been asking for it, so it is about time that I do a bookshelf tour. And yeah, loads of good stuff. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions on content that you would love to see from me this year, please do comment below, because I am always interested in knowing what you want to see. So I'd love to be able to fulfill that for you. So yeah, leave a comment. Please do consider subscribing to my channel if you are not already. Like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye!